Thank you for tuning in to the Patricia Show. My name is Patricia. Let's talk. Please press subscribe and share, and also press like. Okay, so this is part two of Focus Within. I was reading this article the other day by Oprah Winfrey, and she was saying that everything that happens to us in our lives is to turn us closer within ourselves. And I agree with that, but I want to say that everything bad that happens to us in our life is meant to push us closer within. Now, when I say within, I mean where your attention is focused within yourself and not outside of yourself. So when things happen bad, we always turn to God. God, please help me. I'll never do this again, etc., etc. So every time something bad happens, you immediately go to God. Okay, God is within you. So everything that happens bad to you is meant for you to go deeper and deeper within yourself until you finally connect with your God self. But we don't pay attention to that because we think that God is outside of us. As I said on the other audio, everything we do, if we're looking for a job, if we want a new man, if we want a new woman, everything we focus outside of ourselves to get it. We don't think to focus inside of ourselves. And let's say hypothetically we want to get a relationship, a man or a woman. We don't think to focus inside ourselves to have that divine spirit of God to lead and guide us to the right mate. No, we immediately go to our friends. Do you have anybody I can meet? I want to get married, or maybe we could go out to parties so I can meet somebody. You're always focusing outside of yourself. Everything that you need is inside of yourself. Inside of you is a large reservoir of energy. And this energy manifests whatever you want whatever you want outside in your world. So in other words, in order to get what you want outside in your world, you have to focus within to this reservoir of energy. And that divine energy will manifest it in your physical world. Do you understand? So it's not for you to go to your physical world first to get the things you want. No, it's for you to go within yourself and let the divine spirit manifest everything you want outside of yourself. But let me tell you this, it uses the energy, if you can understand this. Stretch your minds, people. It uses your energy within you to manifest whatever you want to have. And that's why there's a saying, an old saying, that whatever you want is already inside of you, or whatever you want, you already have. You have it in the form of energy. It's already there. The only thing you have to do is to manifest it in the physical. And what happens is when you first go into the inner world to get like a house or whatever you want, then it begins the process of manifesting that home in your world and leading you and guiding you to the steps that you need to take in your physical world to bring about the house. Do you understand? Everything is within yourself. Do you know, have you heard of the saying that the universe is within you? I used to think, what do they mean by that? How is there a universe inside of me? But that is really true. It's very true. There is a whole world, or let me put it like this. There there's you understand that there's other dimensions in this world. You reach those dimensions by going within yourself. Whatever dimension you wanted to reach, all you need to do is go within yourself and you can reach those dimensions. Years ago, I think the name of this book was called Sith Speaks. It was about this lady who this spirit energy was speaking through her. Now, I think Sid Speak was the first book, but she put out a lot of other books. I can't think of the name of all of them, but one of them, I think the name was The Nature of Reality. And in those books, this spirit, he was an independent personality other than her own. It wasn't her personality. She went to many psychiatrists and got many, help to make sure it wasn't her. It was separate from her personality. So it was another spirit that was speaking through her. So now this spirit was teaching that if you went within yourself, you could go within yourself and contact a higher form of yourself. You could do that by going within. Now, what it was saying that you have a higher form of yourself that's already has a reality, maybe in another dimension, and is having a world and experiences just the way you're having an earth experiences, because the soul, your soul, can create more than one experience at the same time. So in order for you, let's say you want to meet that other form of you or that other part of you, it was saying that if you focus your attention within yourself, you could actually meet this person, meet your higher form of you. So they told this story about how people were doing this. And one man said that he did this and literally something, he heard a voice, or basically he began to have a conversation with another part of his soul, or another part of him that the soul had created on another dimension, that was having a life and everything he was having here, but just in another dimension. And he claimed to be able to meditate so deep that he was able to go within himself and communicate with this other existence. Now, I remember back then when I tried to go within myself to see if this was true, I remember at one point I just heard a lot of voices. I don't know where they were coming from, but it was just a lot of basically noise. And one thing is what they said is that when you first do that, this is what would happen, but you keep doing it, and then you would get total silence and be able to touch those other existence. Well, what I did is that I did it. It was a lot of noise, like I said, and then I kept doing it until it was total silence within me. Now, I didn't touch the other existence because at that time I thought, honey, I am just coming into this knowledge, and this is really heavy and really deep. So let me learn this in the future when I understand more about what's going on, because I didn't even understand the concept at the time, is that how our spirits can create more than one existence. I understand that now, but then I didn't. So I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go there, because this is really deep. But what I did is that I wanted to be able to communicate with that life, with the God within me. So when I heard the silence, that is the time that I begin to ask questions. And the questions, I would hear the answer to my questions. So basically, I went deep, 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 deep inside of me to communicate with my God self. Okay? So, again, you can't do that by focusing on outside of you. If you focus outside of yourself, you're never going to come into communication with your God self. That's just never going to happen. But if you focus your attention inside, you will. Now, It is said that back in original times, when we first became, when we were being created, and we were first body was created, where the body had 2 feet and 2 arms. Because at one point, I think the body had 4 legs and 4 arms. So this is when the creation began to perfect the bodies, and we had 2 legs and 2 feet. Okay. And so we were living in Muir, or some people call it Lemur. That was the first civilization we had on this planet. That's what actually the Bible speaks of as Adam and Eve. I mean, not Adam and Eve, but Adam and Eve time. That's the time it speaks of. But anyway, we were, we were so in tune with our God self that we could just communicate with people who passed on. Like if your mother died, you were still able to communicate with your mother because we knew that nothing died. And then even our higher brothers and sisters in the spirit, even though they weren't here on earth anymore, we could still communicate with them because it was so easy to go within ourselves and communicate. Then something happened on our earth where we became very selfish. We stopped focusing our attention within ourselves and started focusing our attention outside of ourselves, as well as we became very selfish. And that was our downfall. That is what took us out of the Garden of Eden. As the Bible says, like I just said, it's in the Bible, it's the Garden of Eden. But that's what took us out of it. It had nothing about no snake biting no apple and all that foolishness that's in the Bible. That is not true. It was because of our own selfishness, as well as we turned ourselves away from that great God spirit of ours and turned it into the world. Now, in order to go back and emerge with your God self, that's one of the things that you have to do. You have to put your attention back on your God self and away from the outer world. That's one of the things you have to do, as well as stop gossiping, stop criticizing, and just bring your world into perfection. When I say perfection, I mean where you're following the light and not following the darkness. The darkness is when you're gossiping, talking about people, criticizing people. All of that is what I'm calling the darkness. Well, it's not what I'm calling this true. It's the darkness. And you need to follow the light, okay? So we need to place our attention back within ourselves. So if you want to start this gradually, what you could do is meditate every day. Lay down and meditate or sit up. But if you're not used to it, you're going to fall asleep if you lay down. And really, if you sit up, you're going to fall asleep until you get used to being able to, control your mind and keep it focused on one thing. But what you could do is that the bottom line is you're going to meditate, but focus your attention within yourself. And start off by doing that 15 minutes a day. Just let your attention be within and not outside in the world. And again, you can start at 15 minutes a day. And then you can increase it as you go on. And then, like during the day when you're not meditating, you need to practice focusing your attention within yourself and not outside of yourself. And if you have an anger management problem, you'll find that really helps you. Because if people are getting you angry or upset and your attention is focused inside, you're not going to get upset because it's focused on your divine self, the divine energy, love, light, and all those beautiful things. Okay? Thank you for tuning in to the Patricia Show. And don't forget to press like.